Welcome to the tutorial for vertical scales in stratigraphy. In this section, we'll cover adding a vertical scale and a stratigraphic column. The vertical scale and stratigraphy features are found in the WBD Objects and Elements section of the ribbon. First, we'll open the Builder window and load a previously saved horizontal well to use in this example. The first step in adding both a vertical scale or stratigraphic column begins in the Builder window. Notice in the Builder window that the Lock TBD scaling box is checked, and 11,000 foot is entered in the box, which is the first 1,000 foot increment above the well's maximum TBD of 10,072.96 feet. When we click Draw Wellbore Diagram, the program automatically stores the scaling values. Now we'll open the vertical scale window. Notice that most of the values are already populated. The top point offset is set to 30 points. The bottom point limit is set to 480 points, matching the values from the builder. The left point offset defaults to 32 points. The max TV matches the Lock TBD scaling value from the builder, and the orientation is default set to the left. The increments value is how many increments we want to see on the scale. For 11,000 feet, let's say we want to see a value every 500 feet. So we'll divide 11,000 by 500, which gives us 22. And that is the value that we set the increments value to. Now we'll click Add Vertical Scale, and it draws a vertical scale. Let's change a couple parameters to demonstrate the capabilities of the vertical scale tool. If we change the orientation to right and click Refresh, it moves all the increment labels to the right side of the scale. Now we'll switch it back to left and hit Refresh. Now let's move the scale a little closer to the schematic. We do this by increasing the left point's offset. We'll increase it from 32 to 100 and hit Refresh. Now the scale is tight with the wellbore schematic. Before moving on to stratigraphy, we'll open up the Object Setting window. There are two settings in the Object and Element section that pertain to the vertical scale: Scale Color and Scale Font Size. Let's change the scale color to red and click Set File Default and refresh the vertical scale and see the change. Now we'll add the stratigraphy. First, we'll close the object settings in the Builder window and bring up the stratigraphy window by clicking the icon on the ribbon. Before we close the vertical scale window, we'll observe that the scaling values also have been carried over from the Builder to the stratigraphy window. Notice the matching top offset, bottom limit, and max TV scaling values. So what do you do if you haven't drawn a wellbore schematic with the Wellbore Builder and you still want to draw stratigraphy in a vertical scale? Where can you get the grid point values from? Well, good news. Wellbore Genie has a tool to make that easy. In the ribbon, next to the object setting icon, we'll open the Point Position tool. This tool allows you to select a cell or a range of cells and gives you the point position of each side and center of the selected range. For example, matching the wellbore and scale top and bottom, we'll select the range E3 through E32. Notice the top and bottom numbers match the scaling numbers in the vertical scale and the stratigraphy windows. In the Point Position tool window, the top Y coordinate is at 30 points and the bottom Y coordinate is at 480 points, which matches both the top offset values and the bottom limit values in both the vertical scale and the stratigraphy. This tool also gives you the left and right X coordinates of the range and the center X and Y coordinates of the range. Now we'll close the Point Position window and the vertical TBD scale and build the stratigraphy. In the stratigraphy window, at the top is the familiar Load and Save sections. This is so you can save the stratigraphy to a specific well and load it for later. You'll notice that there isn't an option to enter a well name. This is to eliminate saving location confusion. However, you can save the stratigraphy to an empty slot, and it will just name it Stratigraphy Saved, as we will demonstrate here by selecting Slot 2 and clicking Save to Well. As you can see now in the drop-down menu, Slot 2 now has stratigraphy saved. Let's go ahead and select Example Horizontal Well in Slot 1 and click Save to Well. In the center of the Save section is the Set Print Worksheet button. Just like in the Builder, The Stratigraphic tool will print the stratigraphy on whichever worksheet is active at the time the stratigraphy window is opened. If you change to a different worksheet, you will need to click Set Print Worksheet to tell the program to print on a different worksheet. Below this section on the right-hand side, there is a calculator tool for converting TPD and point values within the scale range. On the left, we can enter a y-coordinate point value, and on the right, it will return us the TPD depth at that point. And on the right, you can enter a TPD value, and on the left, it will return the y-coordinate value at that point. For example, we'll enter 5,000 feet on the right, and it returns to us the y-coordinate point for the depth of 5,000 feet of 234.5 points. Moving down, let's get to the drawing section. Below there are options to add 20 different formations. The formation with the lower number will appear behind the formations with the higher number. So we can add a stratigraphic background over the entire 11,000 feet, and then add formations on top of that background throughout. To draw the stratigraphy, first we'll check the Formation 1 checkbox. The first box is whatever you wish the formation to be named. It's not necessary to fill this box, but helpful if you wish to identify the formation in the selection pane, which you can learn more about in the Wellbore Genie tips and tricks videos. If nothing is entered in this box, it will be automatically populated when the formation texture is selected. We'll name it Background. The Formation Texture menu contains more than 50 lithological texture options. Check in the Preview Formation box at the top. You can browse the menu and see a preview of each texture when you select it. Note that these textures do not preview to scale. They are simply to give you an idea of the texture before you draw the stratigraphy. We'll select General Strat Column 1 at the top and then uncheck the Preview Formation window to fill out the placement data. The first two boxes are the top and bottom depths and TVD. For this background, we'll enter 0 and 11,000 feet to cover the entire scaled wellbore area. The next box is the left points. This is the points coordinate for the left border where the formations will draw. Since we have the vertical scale in our worksheet, we'll set this value to the same as the vertical scale. If we reopen the vertical scale window, we'll see that the left points offset was set to 100. We'll use the same number for the left points for all formations and enter it in the left points box. To populate it through the rest of the formations, we can click the down arrow above the left points. Now all formations will have the left edge set to the vertical scale. The next box is the right points. Let's say we want the formations to extend just past the lateral on the right, to the right edge of column L. We can use the Points Position tool again and highlight the cells in column L, which will give us the right edge of the column at 576 points. We'll enter this value in the right points box and click the down arrow to populate the rest of the formations with this value. The next two boxes are Transparency and Formation Dip boxes. You can set the transparency as you wish to give you the visual that you're looking for. We'll leave it at 0 for now, and we'll demonstrate the Formation Dip box on a different formation, so we'll leave that at 0 as well. Now we'll go ahead and click Draw Formations, and the program adds the generic Strat Column 1 to the worksheet drawing. Now we'll add a freshwater zone in Formation 2. We'll check the box and enter freshwater in the name. From the Formation Texture tool, we'll go to the bottom and select Water Sand Wet from the menu. We'll enter the depths as 600 feet and 1,000 feet, and then we'll click Refresh. And now we have a water zone. Now we'll demonstrate the Formation Dip function for Formation 3. We'll check the box, skip the name, and we'll select Mudstone from the Formation Texture, and it automatically fills the description name box with Mudstone. We'll give it a depth of 3,500 feet to 4,500 feet. For the Formation Dip, we'll set it to -2.5 degrees, and now we'll click Refresh. Now you can see the mudstone dipping upward to the right. Finally, let's add a frac shale for the lateral in Formation 4. From the Formation Texture menu, we'll select Shale Fract 5, and we'll enter a depth of 9,300 feet to 10,800 feet. Now we'll hit the refresh button, click Save, close the window, And there's our completed unconventional shale well, complete with a vertical scale and a stratigraphic visual. This concludes a tutorial for the vertical scale and stratigraphy. Please be sure to check out more videos to learn about all the features of Wellbore Genie.